An update on the fluid Arizona Cardinals starting quarterback situation. Is Jacoby Brissett poised to make his second start? Well, practice is any indication. It looks like all signs pointing towards that. Bo Brock, Johnny Venerable. Subscribe to PHNX Sports. Like this video. And Johnny, we're out there today, the Cardinals facility in Tempe. Both Kyler Murray and Jacoby Brissett were practicing, but it's not as cut and dry as you would think it would be.
Yeah, Kyler Murray still throwing to practice squad guys, backups, and then you got Jacoby essentially working with the ones. I mean, he's working with the starters, Marv and Trey and company. Like Jacoby Brissett's playing again this weekend. Like the Cardinals, with all due respect, trying to do kind of smoke and mirrors. What is the song and dance? Like we know what's going down. First of all, the Cardinals have shown you historically they proceed with the utmost caution, which I commend them most of the time with injuries. And then there's like certain circumstances what we feel like as a fan base is overkill. But regardless, it's like Kyler Murray, he ain't playing Sunday. It'll be another week of Jacoby Brissett. I think you and I have been of the opinion, like, had he played last weekend, that would have been one thing. But the minute that Rap Sheet put out that report, like, he's out this week and it could be a multi-week injury, it's like, okay, well, they clearly have baked this in. You give him an opportunity to rest after the bye, and then he likely, not definitive, but likely returns to the starting lineup to take on the Cowboys in a stadium he's never lost in Arlington against his childhood team. So for me, like I don't know what more needs to be said pertaining to like the competition this week, Bo. I think the competition really begins like post Sunday. Like right. Jacoby Brissett, how does he look in a pivotal transition period of sorts? Or does Jacoby Brissett revert back to being, a backup quarterback?
Yeah, and we'll get to that conversation if it happens, right? I mean, if Jacoby Brissett has a second stellar week at the helm of the Arizona Cardinals offense, then I will gladly have that debate about what they should do going forward. But as far as how the situation is playing out right now, it lends itself to the ideal situation for the Arizona Cardinals as far as this quarterback position goes. You get to find out what Jacoby Brissett is worth. Can he continue to operate this thing at a high level? I'm not saying 320 and 2 touchdowns, but can he continue to add explosives to the passing attack and put up, the points that they did against the Colts in a second consecutive week? And then also you get Kyler Murray to get a full bill of health, which is so important because we know that Kyler Murray can't stand to play at less than optimal level. It's tough for him when he's not operating at nearly 100% physically. So especially when you have an injury where if you could pivot one direction wrong, or if you take a wrong cut, or you just drop back and your throwing foundation isn't right, that you could risk losing Kyler Murray for the entire season. So I think this lends itself to be, a positive for the Cardinals, especially if Jacoby Brissett can force and continue to push the envelope for, more reps beyond this week.
Yeah, it wouldn't get any easier for K1, like post-bye. It gets the Cowboys, you would presume, but like Seahawks, Niners, Jags, Bucks, Rams, Texans, Falcons, like they go through a gauntlet of games. Yeah. And listen, there are so many storylines, most of them unfortunate for the Cardinals this season, but like you don't want to add the fact that like, okay, you force Kyler Murray to play this weekend. He's 80%, 85%, as you put it, Bowie. He makes it worse, situation then implodes, and he's out for the year. They are clearly committed to playing Kyler Murray again this season. Like they have said that. Gannon has said that. Benjamin Albright has said that. Like Jacoby Brissett is going to start 2 games. I think he's going to play well again this weekend. And then it's going to be Kyler Murray's runway the second half of this year. And, I think it's up to the rest of the team if they're going to give him an opportunity to really be able to have a fighting chance to get back into the postseason race. Like Cardinals, depending where you dabble with our friends at Bet365, 6.5 point underdog. Matt LaFleur was overly complimentary of the Cardinals being, 9 points away from an undefeated season. I know we roll our eyes at that, but perspective is Cardinals have played 4 close games and lost all 4.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't an unbeatable set of circumstances. Like I remember going to Lambeau Field the year that Steve Wilkes manned this franchise and watched Josh Rosen beat Aaron Rodgers. And that day it led to Mike McCoy being fired, or Mike McCarthy, with the Green Bay Packers. So like, I think Jacoby Brissett could win this game this weekend. I think it's possible. but I don't think like those talking points are going to slow down unless he has a complete down to earth game.
Right.
And then you're just kind of numb to the whole scenario.
Right. Then it's just like doom and gloom.
Right.
And it's just like, okay, well, at least we know, the writing would be fully on the wall. There are Kyler haters out there that probably wouldn't accept it, even though there's 10 years of data that would tell you what Jacoby Brissett likely is, and that's a backup. But I do think, like you, he's capable of having another solid performance and running this offense. Just real quick to kind of reiterate what we witnessed Thursday was it wasn't even what we saw last Friday, where Kyler and Jacoby were alternating some reps, and you saw Jacoby mostly throwing to starters and Kyler kind of throwing to backups, to where today it was there's another side of the field where you've got, Keaton Slovis, who usually operates on that side of the field. He was on the other with Jacoby throwing to the Kyler, the active 53-man roster playmakers. So it seems like the Cardinals are at least kind of scaling back this smokescreen of Kyler potentially playing here in week 7 of the NFL season.
Yeah. Slovis, I have no business, with all due respect, of wanting to see him play in an NFL game. I think it's wild that the Cardinals don't have another viable quarterback. They've been so loosey-goosey with this. Like, if Jacoby Brissett goes down, then you're really done. You're done in this game. So here's to Jacoby Brissett being healthy for 4 quarters. And it's going to be a very difficult scenario, because if the Cardinals win and Jacoby plays well, we've got 2 weeks of noise, and I welcome that. They lose and Jacoby plays well, then there's going to be a bunch of noise for a lot of different reasons for a team that would be 2-5 going into 15-day absence.
That feels like the worst of all realities. To be honest with you, to take that as a consolation prize and you're staring at 2-5, that's a reality I don't think any of us want to live in.
I mean, it's like we're doing mock drafts on our daily live show, and it's like it's early October, and that just goes to show you, you look at, I don't want to get off on a tangent here, but you look at the Browns and the Jets, and it's like people saw this coming. The Browns starting Joe Flacco, the Jets in a complete rebuild, and Aaron Glenn and Justin Fields. And it's like the Cardinals, of all the teams, in Miami, people saw that implosion coming a mile away. Of all the teams that had low expectations, the Cardinals weren't one of them, that are now bundled in this group of 8 to 10 teams. The Titans, coincidentally, who they lost to, right? I think that's the most disheartening thing, is coming into a season we were conditioned, especially in 2023, this could be rough, right? The Cardinals were supposed to be a firm playoff contender, double-digit win team. When does that start? It has to start this weekend, and I think it can with Jacoby Brissett. But if you're Jonathan Gannon, you have to be so uber aggressive, and it starts with your quarterback play. I'm talking fake punts, going for it on 4th down. You got nothing to lose here. But again, if you play conservative like they've been playing, you will continue to lose, in my opinion.
Right. And I think the Packers, even though they haven't played their best ball this season, they could take advantage of that. Absolutely. If you play, risk averse. So Jacoby Brissett, what do you want to see from him in his potential second start of the 2025 season? Make sure to drop a comment, like this video, and subscribe to PHNX Sports.